Hello friends, today topic for the discussion is principle of electrophoresis. Okay, here we go. Principle of electrophoresis, that is V directly proportional to charge by mass. First of all, electrophoresis means to move through, okay, under electric field, or we can say that electrophoresis is defined as movement of charged particle under the influence of electric field. Movement of charged particle under the influence of electric field. All right, and the charged particle can be DNA, RNA, proteins, or any other. Okay, and during movement process they get separated on the basis of charge and mass. All right, so for principle of electrophoresis, one thing we must know, the basic principle of all type of electrophoresis can be written as V equals to charge by mass, or velocity directly proportional to the charge of that particle and inversely proportional to the mass of the particle. This is charge and this is mass. That means during electrophoresis, the more charge is the particle, the more will be the velocity, and vice versa. On the other hand, mass is inversely proportional to the velocity, so we can say that heavier molecule will move slow and the lighter molecule will move fast during electrophoresis. Okay, now let's discuss this in detail. Suppose here we have a sample and the sample contain charged particle, and charged particle are ions. Okay, the ion can be cation or they can be anion. Okay, and the cations are positively charged, anions are negatively charged. So during electrophoresis, cation will move toward cathode and anion will move toward anode during electrophoresis. Let's see this in diagram. Suppose we have an electrophoretic system and this is the base and the base is coated with agarose gel. Okay, this is the supporting medium of electrophoresis, which is coated with agarose gel. All right, and one end of electrophoresis is cathode and the other end is anode, and it is supplied with electric current or electric field. Suppose if we put sample here, suppose this A and B are sample and one is positively charged, the other is negatively charged. And during electrophoresis process, the cation will move toward cathode, anion will move toward anode. So, if we supply electric current, this cation will move toward cathode and this anion will move toward anode. And later on they get separated on the basis of their charge and mass ratio, according to their charge and mass. Okay. Now, let us derive this equation mathematically. For this, let us suppose that we have a sample which contains anion only. So, this is the anion, and if we put this anion for electrophoresis, what happens is that after we supply the electric current, the ion starts to move toward anode during electrophoresis, and during moving process, two forces will act. So, during moving process, two forces will act. The first one is resistive force F1, which oppose the flow, all right. And the second force is electric force F2, which promote the flow. All right. Now let us talk about this force 1. What happens is that during moving process of this ion in gel or viscous medium, the viscous medium will exert resistance, will create a resistance which oppose the flow of this ion, and this is the resistive force, and it is also known as Stokes law. Okay. Stokes law states that when particle moves in viscous fluid, the viscous fluid or medium will exert resistance or will create a resistance to what? Oppose the flow. That is the Stokes law. I repeat that Stokes law states that when particle moves in viscous fluid or viscous medium, the viscous medium will create a resistance or will oppose the flow. All right, and that is the force 1 or resistive force, and it can be written as F1 equals to 6 pi eta r v. This is the equation 1 or force 1, where 6 pi is constant, eta is viscosity of that medium or of this gel, r is radius of the particle, radius of this ion, r means, and v is velocity of the particle, means velocity of this ion during moving process. All right, and there is another force, what? Electric force F2. Here we have put this anion in electric field. In electric field, the electric force will helps to drive this particle forward, or it promote the flow. All right. So F2 is, or it can be written as F2 equals to EQ divided by D. All right, and this electric force will helps to promote the flow, or it moves this anion forward. All right. So F2 equals to EQ by D, where E is applied electric field, Q is the charge of the particle, charge of this particle, and D means distance between cathode and anode. Okay. All right. Now let's apply some physics here also. So during moving process, there will be one point there will be one point when this particle will achieve uniform velocity. Uniform velocity. Okay. So, during moving process, there will be one point when particle achieve uniform velocity. All right. Uniform velocity means now the velocity is constant. Constant velocity. When velocity is constant, acceleration will be 0. A will be 0. Why? Because acceleration equals to change in velocity with respect to time. Okay, or change in velocity means dv with respect to dt, time. So, I repeat that when particle achieve uniform motion or uniform velocity, the change in velocity will be constant or constant velocity. When the velocity is constant, the acceleration will be 0, because acceleration is equals to change in velocity with respect to time. When this change in velocity is constant, it will be 0, and ultimately acceleration will be 0. And if acceleration is 0, then force is also 0, net force, because force is equals to mass into acceleration. If this is 0, the force is 0. So, we can say that after some time, when particle achieve uniform motion, the net driven force will be 0. All right, net force is 0. When the net force is 0, now this equation can be rewritten as F1 minus F2 equals to 0, because net force is 0. All right. So, now putting the value of F1 and F2 in this equation, F1 equals to 6 pi eta RB, F2 EQ by D. Let us simplify this, then we can write 6 pi eta RV equals to EQ by D. Now, putting this velocity at left side, V equals to, we will get 1 by 6 pi eta R into EQ by D. We have to get this one from this equation. Okay. Now, let us see each component of this equation. 6 pi is constant, eta is viscosity of medium, which is constant for all, constant. R is radius of the particle, which is variable, radius can vary. Okay. E is applied electric field or voltage, electric field, which is constant for all. Q is the charge of the particle, which is variable. It is variable. And D is distance between anode and cathode, distance, which is constant. All right. So, here radius is variable, distance, charge is variable. Okay. So, 6 pi is constant, viscosity is constant, electric field is constant, distance is constant. So, finally, we can write velocity of charged particle is directly proportional to the charge of that particle and inversely proportional to the mass. Since this is a radius, radius means size and it can be replaced with m, mass. This is charge and this is mass. Okay, V directly proportional to the charge, inversely proportional to the mass. So this is the basic principle for all type of electrophoresis, where we can say that the more charge is the particle, the more will be the velocity and vice versa. On the other hand, mass is inversely proportional to the velocity. Okay, so friends, this is all about principle of electrophoresis, and for any queries you can comment in comment box. Thank you.